Hi, my name's Demora, and I'm going to be talking to you today about the 22 truth testaments that I received during August 22 to August 23 and how important those are. Today I'm going to talk about number 22. All of these truth testaments were put onto my channel. That was the first thing that I knew I had to load because these are so important for everybody in these changing times, and to make sure that everybody is okay during these changing times and has the right resources. So number 22, and the heading on that I was given was opening our hearts, helping those who are on survival only mode. And this means that they have only the resources to take them through the day or the week, or in some good cases, the month. But they don't have resources like when we're all talking, all of us people who've woke up a while back, we're all talking about follow your dreams, follow your fascinations. Not one of these people in survival mode, they can very rarely follow their dreams or even their fascinations because everything costs money in this life right now. Some things don't, like everybody can always get out into nature somewhere. And that's one thing to always follow, whatever your resources. You can keep good company. You can be in the right place for you. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to be the right energy and the right people around you. But this is where it gets, and it's going to be very dodgy and very uncomfortable as we start to be immersed in the big earth changes that are upon us now. They've begun in earnest. And if you know the figures, I looked these up some while ago and I had to write them down. It makes me angry every time I reread them. Remember, we're around 8 billion people on the planet right now. And let me just think about what I remember here, actually. It's half the world population lives on $7 a day or less. Let's repeat that. 4 billion people live on $7 or less. That's just under $50 a week. There's no fancy living when you live that way. And luckily there are some people in different countries who can live on the land. They can live and, exist on some sort of level of health in a good way because they only eat what they produce and things like this. I haven't got it split down to figures like that. But that's an important thing because we may all be in the same position as them soon. And it's a really interesting fact though, isn't it? Did you know that? Are you going to try and ignore what I'm saying here? Half the world population, 4 billion people, live on $7 a day or less. Okay? Maybe write it on your wall, on your lovely clipboard or your poster board that you have on the wall to do all those things you're going to do this week. Just write that above everything you're going to do. When you're going to go out and have your expensive meal, or when you're going to go to this event that costs you hundreds of dollars, or just write it above your vacation that's going to cost you $2,000. Just do something to keep that in your awareness. The other interesting fact is that if you are on a medium wage in the US, you're actually part of the 5% richest people. We know that there is a 1%, which is disgusting because it is a huge percentage of the wealth is owned by 1% of the population. But this one is another statistic. is that if you are on a medium wage, and most people on a medium wage in the US is moaning about it, right? And you are part of the 5% richest people in the population of the 8 billion. Again, it's a good one to write somewhere. Don't ignore this, because when we're in times of change, really big change, which we're going towards, this is why number 22, Truth Testament, was saying to us. Now you can, listen to the whole thing. It's not that long. These pieces that I channeled in 2022 to 2023 weren't that long. They're very precise. And this number 22 is just so powerful. It's telling us to make sure now that we're helping the people at least that we personally know that are in our center of influence. Okay, at least help those so that if they have some extra money, they can start thinking about, we feel like we want to move out of the city. We want to live on the outskirts. You may be giving them enough money to pay the removal men. You may be giving them enough money that you have a lot of, because this is what the number 22 is asking. Interesting that it came up as number 22 when they gave it to me, because that's a master builder number that we all need to be aware of. And it's saying, help at least those people personally around you who you know could not, take the time off even to move out, even though their heart and their blueprint that's activated somewhat is telling them that they need to get out of the city of New York, say, and go into the countryside, maybe hundreds of miles from there. Remember this, those with money in excess can go anywhere. And we see this in all the reports, don't we? These rich millionaires who have no sense of consciousness at all, and the billionaires who are building bunkers. And I don't think that's a good idea myself, having channeled the Earth Changers information, but they certainly have bought out all the land in the countryside around in New Zealand. They've bought excess land there in the 1,000 acres. And I think it's also, Bill Gates is now one of the biggest landowners of farming area, isn't he? And he's just a logical guy who can only think left brain. He doesn't bring in the spiritual aspect. I've watched every video that I could find on him to really see the truth about that man and why he should not have those billions. And I didn't do it blindly. I looked at all of them and the latest Netflix to see whether that man is opening up in any way at all spiritually and in a line with our futures, our real futures. And he is not. So don't think he's suddenly going to come up with the money for everybody, because he isn't. He is stuck in such a conformist viewpoint, and he does not believe any of this sort of information. Anyway, there is a lot we can do, but the first thing I'm going to ask you to do is go on to my channel and watch number 22. It'll probably take you 15, 20 minutes. It may only be, 15 minutes to listen to it, because this is a message that was for the collective. And don't forget here that we are all part of the collective. Wherever your ego is taking you and allowing you to falsely believe you sit in this 8 billion collective, you sit equal with every one of us. And the collective is only as strong as its weakest member. And I've just told you, half of the population, 4 billion of them, are living on less than $7 a day. How strong do you think our collective is at the moment? As a collective, this is our job. For the next 10 years, we have to build the survival rate that comes through these earth changes as big as we can. And we have to use all of our extra resources, however small that may be. We have to use that to give the information out freely, to give our extra resources to people who need it. And you guys that are out there who have good information on helping people to rise in these occasions, not just financially, I'm talking about those who really understand how we awaken and start to pull in our higher energy and our soul blueprints. Stop charging exorbitant prices when people can't afford to come on your courses. You need to be somebody now who takes as many people paying you as can't pay you. And that has to change, like right now. I'm going to leave my spiritual rant, my balancing the collective rant for today. But I haven't finished yet. That's just one. Number 22, Truth Testament. Give yourself a jolt in the right direction. Watch it. Thank you. I hope you get enough good information from this to like my video, because that keeps it on the feed for other people. And also to subscribe so you can hear about the next jolts to consciousness I'm going to be giving you folks. Bye for now.